everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. We're currently at my kitchen table because today I am going to show you a flip through of my 2021 reading journal as well as my setup in my 2022 reading journal. Before I crack this open, just a couple of facts about this journal. It is a Leuchtturm. Oh, I shouldn't show you the spine, it's really dirty. It's a Leuchtturm journal that I've had for I think at least 3 years. There are spreads from 2019 and 2020 also in this one because I used to use my journal only as a reading journal. So I still had a lot of room in 2020 to actually make this also my planner. I have this sticker on top of it of a girl sleeping on a pile of books, which I do really like. I really love this sticker. I got it off of Redbubble, I think. But yeah, let's crack this open to the first page for 2021, which is this one. Right off the bat, I really am not a big fan of this opening page. You will see throughout this video how my style of journaling really evolved and changed throughout 2021. So yeah, this is my first page with a stunning Taylor Swift quote, always. And then we have my future log, which nothing too interesting on there. As we all know, 2021 was quite uneventful. Then I also have my series TBR that I was supposed to complete in 2021. As you can tell, I read one book, so not too great. Also, yes, I do make my bullet journal in French, but I will tell you obviously what everything stands for. This is one of my favorite spreads out of this entire thing. It's the famous bookshelf spread that everybody does in their reading journal. I really like how this one turned out. Then we have all of the books that we read for the Tea Leaves Book Club in 2021. That really helps me keep track of everything that we read because I often forget, even though it's only like 8 books. Then I had all of my most anticipated books of 2021. As you can tell, I don't really keep up with new releases. I don't have a lot of them because I'm just really bad and I constantly forget what is coming out. But yeah, these were the ones that I wrote down at the beginning of the year. Then this is a spread that I did to try to keep track of a lot of different stats about my reading, but as you can tell, I didn't even complete it. I didn't really use it that much. I ended up making new spreads in every single month, which you'll see in a couple of minutes. And then we're starting in January. So for this one, I did kind of like a winter Narnia theme. It's very simple because I didn't have a lot of journaling supplies at that point, but I still quite like it. This is just basically, I have this every month. It's just a huge list of everything that I need to do. So I separate the month in all of the different weeks, and then I just write down everything that I need to do during that week. This is my books read spread for January, which as you can tell, I did a little bit of collaging in this one, and you will see that is a theme that comes back a lot into my reading journal once I start, you know, getting crazy and buying a ton of stationery. This is what I was talking about when it comes to like the reading stats. So instead of keeping up with that first yearly spread that you saw at the beginning, I started to do a monthly stats spread every month. So it's just very simple. It's just the title of the book, whether it was written by a woman, a man, a non-binary author, or an author of color, what genre it is from, whether it's adult, YA, middle grade, a physical book, an audiobook, or an ebook, whether I borrowed it either from the library or from a friend, if it's a new to me author, or if it's a reread. So these are the stats that I tracked for the entirety of the year. Then moving on, we have my February spreads. So this is the cover page, and as you can tell, I got a little bit of washi tape, a couple of stickers, which is really fun. That is when I started to have my full-on obsession with collaging. So you will see it comes back a lot into this journal. I would describe my style as kind of like messy vintage. So yeah, and we are moving on to my March setup, which I really love. This is probably one of my favorite ones I've ever done. The theme for this one is old classic female authors and old books. So yeah, I had a lot of fun coming up with these spreads. I remember it was like one of the first times that I really was satisfied with how they looked. This is my budget spread. I covered all of my expenses into my journal because you all don't need to know how much I pay for rent. So yeah, that's what's hidden under this piece of paper. I really love this that I printed out. I love that Jane Austen is here, my girl. This is once again my books read, my stats, and then just the continuation of those never-ending to-do lists that I have. This is one of my favorite spreads that I've ever done. And I'm so sad because I did do a plan with me video for March, but I skipped it for April. But actually it's like one of my favorites and I would have really loved to see how it progressed. But yeah, I really love it. Stunning Tolkien quote at the beginning of it. As you can tell, it's kind of like a traveling theme. We have like different stickers with different landmarks around the world. And yeah, I really love it. Oh, I just realized I never really talked about my habits tracker. So this is my habits tracker. And basically all the habits that I tracked during the year was whether I took a walk that day. I did not look at my cell phone in the morning because I'm really bad at doing that. Also, that's one that actually disappeared at some point, but it was remembering to keep my shoulders straight. And then I also have if I read that day. So you can see that I was actually really good at taking walks. And then I also have here some things about like cleaning and also watering my plants. This is once again my books read spread. I really love this one. I love how it turned out with this like old looking map. Really like that. The stats, the continuation of my budget, because in April I actually moved out of my parents' house, so there were a lot of expenses to track. Then we're entering May, which was a music type of theme that I really love with florals. I actually have a plan with me video for this one, so I will leave it linked on the screen if you would like to go and check it out. I also had one for March, so I'll make sure to leave that one down below for you all. My habits tracker. Budget, once again, hidden under this piece of paper that has just random work notes on it. It's not a secret code, it's just random stuff. My books read spread that I really love. I really love this one. I love all of the different layers that I did there. And the stats. And then moving on to June, which is another one of my favorites. This is a Lord of the Rings theme, as you can probably tell. I just went and printed out some stills of the movie and I just stuck them in there, and I just really love how it looks. Very long quote that month, but I love this J.R. Tolkien quote. It is just so beautiful, and it really matched with how I was feeling that month. I just realized that I never said, but this is basically just like my month at a glance. I feel like you could tell from the other months. And I also sometimes have some video ideas here on the side. A habit tracker that was a little bit of a mess that month, but it's fine. My budget tracker again, and here is Legolas looking over the hills. Love him. This is my books read spread, once again with Frodo reading under a tree. And then this is a spread that I did about some tiny libraries that we have in my city, but I ended up just never going out and looking at them because, you know, that happens. Then, oh my gosh, I love this setup. So this is my Pride and Prejudice setup for July, and I wrote, of course, the iconic "You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love you" quote on the front cover. Obviously had to, iconic Darcy quote. Once again, I just went and printed out some images from the movie, obviously, as you can tell. I also, for whatever reason, really love these collages that I did here. Like, this spread is very simple, but I really love it. My habits tracker with Keira Knightley looking pensive and amazing. My budget, my books read with one of my favorites still of the entire movie. I love this image when they're all like under the tree. I just love it so much. And then I had this extra picture that I just stuck in here because obviously iconic scene. Love this segment of the movie so much. It's just so perfect. Then we have my August theme, which was a castle theme, and I also stuck in obviously this Taylor Swift quote from her song August off of Folklore, which is one of my favorite songs by her, and it says to live for the hope of it all. Cancelled plans just in case you call and say meet me behind the mall, or in this case behind the castle. Please ignore me, but yeah, these are just like beautiful pictures of some of my favorite castles from all around the world, because in case you don't know, I have an obsession with castles. So yeah, this is why I decided to have this as my theme. I really love this habits tracker spread. I did it a little bit differently. Instead of the list that you saw from most of the spreads, I decided to start making those little squares, and I actually kept on doing that throughout the rest of the year because I really liked it. BOOKCLUB spread, very pretty in my opinion. And then we have the Downton Abbey castle that was kind of like an extra, and I just put it in here because I really love it. Then we're moving on to September, which is actually one of my least favorite setup in this entire journal. I don't know why, there's just something about it that I don't like as much. I think maybe it's because of the contrast between the black paper and the white paper of my journal. I'm not sure. I, however, really love this washi tape. It's from basically Brit, and if there's anything that you would love to know, like where I got it from, just let me know in the comments and I will try to find it again for you. I get some of my stationery from AliExpress, but I mainly try to get it from small Etsy shops because I really love to encourage them. Then we're entering October, which I really love. I decided to do a kind of like cozy, fairy tale-esque theme. And yeah, I just really love how it turned out. I love these stickers. These ones I actually got from Sticky Club, which is kind of like a subscription box for stickers, but I didn't get a subscription. I just got them separately. Love the mushrooms. I really love mushrooms, in case you couldn't tell. Then we're entering November, which I decided to do a kind of like dark academia theme, which I really love. This has to be one of my favorite setups into this entire reading journal. I just really love how it turned out. It's very simple, and I didn't do as many layers as I normally would, but I just really love it. This chef's kiss, amazing. This is one of my favorite spreads I've ever done. I just love it so much. Once again, the stickers are from basically Brit. Love her. And finally, we're entering the last month of the year, which is December. And this is sadly another one of those that I just really don't like as much. It's just very boring, I think. I didn't really have like any kind of like Christmassy stickers, so I feel like that's probably why it just is very lackluster to me. So yeah, I have to fix that for next year because I feel like this is very drab. And then the last spreads that I've made into this journal are my reading stats for 2021. I've made a video about this on my channel, so I will link it up here if it is up already. I don't know which one of the two is going to be up first, but yeah, so this is just like the genres that I read from, so fantasy, nonfiction, romance, graphic novels, mysteries, historical fiction, and others. Then here we have the genders of the authors that I read from, their racial identity, whether the books had queer representation or not, what category they were in, so like middle grade, YA, adult, audio, ebook, physical book, whether I bought them or borrowed them, whether they were new to me authors or not, and whether they were rereads or not. But like I said, I made an entire video about this, so if you want to hear more of my thoughts and see all of this in detail, make sure to check that out. So that was my 2021 reading journal. Let's move along to the real star of the show here, which is my 2022 reading journal. I am so excited about this journal. I got it from Notebook Therapy. It is the Moonflower edition, and it has those stunning spread edges with like little flowers on them, which I really like. It's much higher quality than the Leuchtturm. The pages are so much thicker, which I do really love. The spreads that I'm going to show you in this are my beginning of the year spreads as well as my January spreads. So on the first page we have my name, obviously with a little collage that I did. Then we have my opening page for the year, so 2022. For all of the first spreads in this bullet journal, I did once again a kind of like traveling theme because I liked it so much in my April setup for 2021. I decided to do it again, kind of. And I have a stunning quote from Leigh Bardugo herself. Her heart was a river that led her to the sea. If you know, you know. Then moving along, we have my year at a glance, and I got these stickers from Etsy, and what I love the most about is that they're in French, which is so cool. I always find these but only in English, but then this year I managed to find a person who actually made them in French, so this is so nice. Then I have once again my reading year at a glance spread, my bookshelves spread, if you will. I didn't put as many like little decorations on this one because I wanted the books to be a little bit bigger, so I had more room to write down the titles. Then this has to be one of my favorite spreads. It's basically the same thing as in the other journal, the Tea Leaves Book Club TBR that we have. We're bi-monthly book club now. And then here I have my books by authors of color TBR. These are different books that I would like to read this year. And then you will recognize this type of spread from my other bullet journal, but instead of doing my stats monthly, I decided to do just a huge spread for the entire year. So this goes on for a little while, but basically I'm still tracking the same thing. I think that the only things that changed were that I added some numbers here to keep track of how many books I had read so far, and also I added the star reading here. But other than that, it's still the same thing. So we have this that goes on for a couple of pages. I decided to do it horizontally just because I had more space, and I kept some pages here. And then here is where I'm going to do my total of all of those stats like I did into the other one. And then we're entering January, and these spreads don't necessarily have a theme. They do have a lot of music sheets on them and some florals, but I just decided to go kind of wild for the first month of the year. So we have my month at a glance, then we have my to-do list spread, the number of hours that I do for work because I do need to track that, my habit tracker, which I really love. I love how the spread turned out, and also my books read spread. And that's it so far for my 2022 reading and life journal, I guess. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you thought of it. I really had a lot of fun going back into my 2021 reading journal and seeing all of the spreads that I did, and also sharing these new ones with you. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!